Hi, I'm Mindy McGinnis, author of Not a Drop to Drink and In a Handful of Dust. And I haven't done a vlog in a really long time because I've been very, very busy. I have a new book coming out on October 6th. It's called A Madness So Discreet. It's a gothic historical thriller set in an insane asylum. And I also have a contemporary that'll be out in 2016. And just a couple weeks ago, I sold a fantasy series that'll be out in 2017 and 2018. So I've been really busy. So today I want to talk to you about A Madness So Discreet, which is coming out on October 6th. This is the one set in an insane asylum. I had to do a ton of research in order to be able to write this book properly. And I had to know all about the way insane asylums operated in 1890, which is when the book is set. And I had to learn all about the beginnings of criminal profiling, which they called it criminal psychology. And I had to know just about stuff going on in the 1890s, like were the rooms lit with fire, were they lit with gas, were they lit with electric? And actually in 1890 it could have been any of those three, depending on the wealth of the person that owned the building. But that's a little factoid you didn't need today. I had to learn a lot about the treatment of the insane in the 1890s, and I wanted to illustrate some of the techniques that they used in asylums back then, but I can't actually illustrate it on a person because I would get arrested. So instead I thought I might use a cat. Obviously I'm not actually going to hurt a cat. I love cats and I hurt people that hurt cats. Something that's important to know about early insane asylums is that you didn't necessarily have to be insane to end up in one. Syphilitics, people with STDs, alcoholics, and women that were inconveniently pregnant, such as my main character is, often ended up in insane asylums. One of the first things I want to talk to you about is called sheet wrapping. What they would do is take wet sheets and wrap patients from their toes to the top of their head as tight as they could, like saran wrap, and then they would pull a gap between your mouth and your nose so that you could breathe a little bit, and then they would just lay you out. It was supposed to calm people. Personally, I'd flip. If you've ever cleaned a cat's ears, you're actually already familiar with sheet wrapping. Something else that they had was the spinning chair. But they would basically put you in a chair. It was a suspended chair that you would be tied into, and someone would just spin you in it over and over and over, like a carnival ride that you didn't pay for and can't get off. Just as a quick fact check, they typically did not give the patients cheese. And I hope I moved it out of this chair before I sat back down. Something else that happened in insane asylums was sterilization, with or without the patient's consent. So men and women would be sterilized, unable to have children anymore because they were deemed unfit. Now Sparrow actually already is fixed, but to illustrate, they would take her little kitty fallopian tubes and they would take them outside of her belly, and they would tie them into a little knot like this, and then you wouldn't be able to have your babies anymore. And that's how that was done. Typically the patient would be asleep or not express interest in eating their own fallopian tubes. Yeah. I think that covers all the terrible things I wanted to talk to you about today. Madness So Discreet releases on October 6th.